What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P, the Bluff Guy. Hey! And we are back with another One Piece post chapter discussion. We will be talking about chapter 1067 and, you know, any future predictions, what went on with the chapter, all that good stuff, right? All that good stuff. But before we get into that, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on the chapter, your predictions, your theories, all that good stuff. Leave down in the comments. Follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. Also, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you want to connect with me personally. And join the Discord. Come be a part of the community. That is usually where I'm the most active at. So if you want to engage with me, more so one-on-one and everything, join the Discord. It's also the best place if you want to become part of a future discussion stream, or if you want to send me content to react to, join the Discord. But all right, y'all. So y'all know what it is. Chapter 1067 recently dropped. So we're going to talk about it, of course, and we're also going to make some predictions. What's going to come in the future chapters, future arcs, all that good stuff. So let me bring in my guests. So we got Angels Room and we got D LaJoy Boy. What is up, fellas? All right, man. So let's start off with getting some opinions on the recent chapter that just dropped. Joy Boy, what did you think of the chapter? As far as just what was your enjoyment of the chapter?
I mean, yeah, it was still a pretty good chapter.
Pretty good chapter. Do you think it was as good as last chapter?
Um,
I mean, last chapter was
I think
was
last chapter was better.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. I agree. Still good chapter. Still a solid chapter in my opinion. But just so much greatness happened last chapter. What about you, Angel? What's your thoughts on this chapter that just dropped?
Oh, it was all right.
It was all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
Man, y'all
Mm,
don't seem that ecstatic about the chapter. All right? No, but I get it though. I agree. I thought it was a good chapter. I thought it was a solid chapter. It I mean, Oda's been dropping a lot of like bomb ass chapters. So in kind of like the thick of things and the when you just kind of put it up against a lot of the other chapters, it was kind of a bit of a slower chapter, maybe not a slower chapter, but just it just didn't have what a lot of those other chapters brought, right? So still some hype moments though, in my opinion. But you know, what was you saying, Joy Boy? Was that you talking? Oh, thought you said something, man.
mm,
Uh, all right, well let's get into the chapter. All right. Okay, so we start off the cover page. We finally got the meeting between Judge and Caesar. Acting like they didn't know each other. Kind of like talking about who are you. If I remember correctly, that's kind of how it started. So we're getting the Mads reunion. Like I think I kind of talked about this enough. So I just think now it's starting to come into fruition. Like I already kind of predicted. I think anybody could predict it. I don't want to sit here and act like I'm just like some Nostradamus. I think just the fact that the Germa the siblings were pretty much they met up with Caesar, right? It just almost seemed like it was just going to happen. It was inevitable. So I mean, I don't really have nothing else to add unless you guys have anything to add about the whole Caesar Judge reunion.
no, I
Uh,
just thought it was funny that Judge didn't recognize Caesar.
You think he didn't recognize him, or he was just
Or just
being
forgot him.
he was trolling? I think he was trolling. Like, how do you forget a guy like Caesar that you worked with? You know what I mean? Unless Caesar's just kind of like the weak,
I
the
mean, wasn't he a
weaker,
child?
huh?
Wasn't he a child during that time?
Was he?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be
A
surprised
lot
that
younger.
I'm pretty sure he was like a teen or a child.
I don't remember. I don't remember that where that was ever stated of him being young. You know, him being young at that moment. I don't know. Maybe, but if that's the case, then yeah, it makes sense that he
Yeah,
would.
he's 36 years old. Yeah, he was a child.
Well, what O'Hara happened? What, like 20 years ago
Oh yeah, he would have been 16.
during O'Hara? So, and I think that
That
whole
was
Mads
24
thing.
years ago.
You said what?
24 years
And then
from
Oh,
now.
then he would be
Mads
12.
must have been before that, because I think Mads
Um,
were a thing
we know Mads.
before.
Um,
I
no,
think
We
they
know
Mads
they
were.
was
were.
24 years. Yeah.
We know Mads was disbanded sometime 30 years ago. So even then, he would have still been a kid during that time.
Yeah,
Mads was an illegal scientific research team that was active at least over 24 years ago.
yeah, and that was before. Uh, that was before Vegapunk joined the Marine or joined the world government. I would assume so. It definitely had to happen way before. So I guess you said Caesar was 36, or he is 36.
Yeah.
So then it would make sense for Judge not to recognize him. Then, you know, I thought he was just being. I thought he was just trolling. You know, like, oh, who are you again? Like, you're a nobody or something. Okay, all right, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, but yeah. So hopefully this cover story leads into the current canon story, and we'll get like Vegapunk meeting up with his old associates. That's kind of where I'm hoping to go. That's where I'm hoping to go. Maybe they build something that is like a counter to the SSG or something. That's kind of my I don't know. I would think Vegapunk would know how to counter his SSG though. But you know, that's one of the things we have to wait to see. But okay, moving on. Moving on. We learned that Vegapunk has a devil fruit. The brain fruit, aka the know me, know me, know me. Oh man, that is I like that name, man. That's such a troll name right there. So what did y'all think? Like when we got Vegapunk's devil fruit, and his name and the name of the devil fruit. What did y'all think about it? Did y'all even think that Vegapunk had a devil fruit, or you know?
I mean, like, I never really thought about it, but like in hindsight, it's pretty obvious, especially with the pun. Like,
Yeah,
if if we would have looked into that and found, oh, know me, know me, know me, it would have been the brain fruit, and then obviously, like Vegapunk would be the one to have it.
yeah, yeah. I initially thought the fruit was like I when he said he had a devil fruit, I thought like, does this mean that he like the devil fruit is making him smart? But based on what he said he was like born a genius. The devil fruit just adds, right? Like it makes him it increases his capacity to like a limited degree, like where he whatever he learns he remembers, you know like almost like photographic memory, where whatever he learns he always remembers it. So which in a sense I would think it does improve his intellect, because it's like he's remembering more stuff. So the more he remembers, the more knowledge he's retaining. So it's in a sense it does affect his intelligence to a degree. It's just not the driver behind his intelligence, supposedly. But what about you, Angel? What did you think of the devil fruit reveal, or Vegapunk even having a devil fruit? Like what? How,
Him having I mean, finding out him having a devil fruit. I mean, I wasn't shocked, but it was interesting to learn. I
you
guess that was my reaction.
you said you wasn't shocked. You wasn't shocked, or you was in shock.
I wasn't shocked, but it was interesting to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, and we also learned that his brain is kept within Punk Records, so it doesn't seem like he split up his brain. You know what I mean? So I was
So he's gonna become
say what?
nothing.
So yeah, so Punk Records is what's holding his brain. It sends out, I guess, signals to all the Vegapunks, like the original Vegapunk. That's why the Vegapunk we see has that little apple on his head. It kind of works as like an antenna receiving the signals. And it also works like that for the other Vegapunks. Like, like it makes sense. Like what you guys take from that? Like it definitely does make sense though. Like it do because I think a lot of people thought that Vegapunk split his brain up into each of the clones, but
That's
Yeah,
what I
that's
was
what
saying last week.
yeah, yeah. I was taught
the
I considered like it being in the jar somewhere, sending out signals, kind of like we got, which I'll take that W. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but you gotta take y'all been taking W's, or at least Joy Boy took a few W's. Angel, I'm still waiting on the W for you, Angel.
Hey, I did throw out the idea of him living with the straw hats.
He is
Okay,
right.
okay. I mean, I guess you could say that, but you kind of said he'd die though, if I remember
No, I said that
correctly.
at the I
You
said that
said
at
he
the
was
end of
going
the
to die.
stream. I said that at the end of the stream. And he is gonna die at some point.
Like everybody else, right? In life, everybody dies.
No, not like in life, in the story.
Mm. Okay. All right. So, Punk Records, man. The other Vegapunks they're getting, I guess, knowledge sent to them. We also learned that they're clones. These Vegapunks are clones. Like they're not, I guess, built or anything. They're not robotic.
Yeah,
But
that's something weird because of the robotic ones. How can you consider them
yeah,
clone?
yeah, like, and that's where I'm gonna have to kind of. I don't want to say I disagree, but that's where I kind of feel as though we didn't get a full explanation of all the Vegapunks, because I don't think they're all clones. Like you just said, Angel, I don't believe they're all clones. Like Pythagoras and Edison. I mean, how do you explain those being clones?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even Shaka, we don't know if he's human. That could just be his face.
Yeah, it could be. It could. I think Shock. I think that's just a mask for Shaka though. But
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
the question, what were you saying, Joy Boy?
I was saying.
Uh, but the question is, why does Shaka have a mask on? You know, like, is his identity? Is there something about his identity? I mean, we know
I mean,
he's a Vegapunk clone, but is there something about how
um,
he looks that's you know?
I mean, I mean, like I said earlier, originally I thought, maybe it was just his face, nothing more.
Yeah,
But then, I had a few discussions with Cube, and he was throwing the idea that it could be Law. Law's face under that mask.
Mm. I mean, it would make sense for it to actually be his face. Like maybe he doesn't have a face. Maybe he's always going to wear that mask because kind of like Killer. Well, even though we seen Killer's face, even though it's bandaged up, so we didn't really get to see like the full face. But we seen him without a mask, so we know he has a, we know semi what his face look like under that mask. But maybe Shaka just is always going to wear a mask and we'll never see his face. But
I think Oda was
go ahead.
probably just going for the aesthetic stuff.
Yeah,
And
maybe it was
having
like
that relation to Daft Punk too.
or Uteron. Or Uteron. What I'm thinking is maybe that the Shaka does have a face. Maybe what if all the human Vegapunks are like copies of other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause look, if they're clones, right? They're supposed to be the other Vegapunks are supposed to be clones, but none of them look like Vegapunk. So like when we look at clones,
It's gonna be like when Jiraiya was fighting Pain and realized that they were all people he's fought before.
Something like that. But I'm thinking like Vegapunks should be clones. If they're clones, they should look like Vegapunk. Like from based on how we usually view clones, they usually look like the person they're cloned from. These other Vegapunks don't look like the Vegapunk that we know. You know what I'm saying? They don't look like Dr. Vegapunk. So I'm thinking like, what if Shaka looks like Dragon or something? Maybe he took people he was familiar with, and that's how he created the other the satellites. And Shaka looks like Dragon. I mean, again, Lilith could look like somebody we don't know, like maybe Luffy's mother or something. Because we know.
I don't know. Sorry, continue.
Nah, go ahead. You got something to say?
I was gonna say with the whole clone sling and how they look different. I don't know. Maybe it's incomplete because with the whole Germa 66 when we saw their clones, some of them were male, some of them were female, some were bigger than others, some were smaller than others, and they're all supposed to have the same genetic whatever.
Yeah. But maybe when it comes to the Judge clones, those were cloned after like some soldiers that Judge employed. We got Parvision in the building as well. He says, "Yo, you see my latest video? I haven't, but I'll definitely check it out. Like I have to check it out like when I get back from my my whole Thanksgiving thing, with my family and everything. But
yeah, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's this week, man. But Par says, I agree. I like the Shaka is Dragon. Yo, Lilith is Luffy's mom. For real, that could be the case though, man. Like Parvision there, right there. You right there. I don't know who Atlas would be though. Like who would Atlas be? Maybe like a daughter. Maybe if he had a daughter or something. And then Par said, yeah, he says, Bluff, we on that wavelength, brother. So this is something I guess Parvision been considering as well. He says, Atlas is an Alta clone.
Uta?
Yeah, Uta. I mean, I've heard comparisons with Atlas and Uta. I definitely did. So maybe that means Vegapunk could be like, maybe Shaka could be a Shanks clone or something. I don't know, but I consider Dragon because he has that connection with Dragon. They have like a friendship or whatever. But yeah, man, like I kind of like the idea that the clones, because the Vegapunk clones don't look like Vegapunk, they look like other people. So I like the idea that he's using other people's likeness to create these other Vegapunks. Kind of like Star Wars. I think Cube made a reference about how, it's a lot of Star Wars themes going on. when we talking clones and stuff, and we if you ever watch Star Wars, Attack of the Clones, we learned that Jango Fett, or is it Boba Fett? I think it's one of them. One of the Fetts, right? One of them's the son. One of them is
Jango.
father. Jango. Okay, so Jango Fett is the he's the where all the clones got their
Progenitor.
likenesses. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it's like other people's lineage factors that were around Vegapunk at some time.
Yeah.
Because even I think York like kind of is similar to Bonnie, especially with their mannerisms.
Yeah,
Good.
they all seem to be very different from each other, especially what's his name? Shaka.
Shaka. Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody
he's
some,
he's
some
he's very interesting.
somebody did tell me like that York did kind of remind them. I do remember somebody saying York reminded them of Jory Bonnie, so that's
Yeah,
actually
that
a
was
good.
me in that stream.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so yeah, there definitely is some relation. Shaka Lux or York loves to eat like Jory Bonnie as well, so you know
Mm-hmm.
that's a
Like
good point.
hold on. Sorry.
Par says, "Oh wait, Shank's clone is cracked." And then Dende said, "What's up? What's good?" Denden. Yeah, bro. Like, I kind of like Dragon, but I think either Dragon or Shanks could make sense. Maybe Dragon more so because I feel as though Dr. Vegapunk has more of a deeper connection with Dragon than he does Shanks. But I mean, hey, we can always learn that there's more to like a Shanks and Vegapunk connection, like as we go as well. So there's still that possibility, especially like uh Par says the Alta clone, like uh Atlas being like Alta, so or Uta. So if that is the case, if Atlas is kind of based on Uta, then I would think that maybe Vegapunk has a connection with a deeper connection with Shanks, meaning he could be like the candidate for Shaka potentially. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like the idea that these clones are like based on other people because they don't look nothing like Vegapunk. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if Cube is wrong about Shaka's face not being law, then it has to be a doctor or some type of scientist, dude, from
Yeah,
the way he's interacted with the Straw Hat so far.
yeah. Could be Eam. Nah, I'm playing. Everything's Eam, man. No, I'm joking though. I'm joking. I don't know if Vegapunk ever actually met Eam, so that'd be a tough call right there.
That is interesting. I wonder if he would reveal something like that.
Yeah. So talking about punk records, right? Like they're like kind of segueing into punk records where you know it's almost like the internet if you think about
Mhm.
it. Because Vegapunk was like, if everybody could connect to it, it'll be the internet, right? It will be the internet. And then
That's true.
It's Wikipedia.
yeah. And Jinbei even pointed out like like he said something about like people with different ideologies or something. Like if they had access to that, like the danger in it. I liked how Jinbei pointed that out because it kind of mirrors how the internet is today, right? Like it's so much good to it, but then a lot of people use it for bad as well. You know,
True
so
that.
I thought that was dope for Jinbei to
But then
point out.
again, but then again, this is like someone's brain, and this is Vegapunk's brain. And wait, actually, I wonder, would everyone be able to see everything everyone is doing?
Where if they was connected to Punk Records,
Yeah, because
I
like
don't.
didn't he say like, because hold on, let me look back at it. Because I'm pretty sure like he says at a certain time, everyone will be connected and will gain the same information.
Well, it says once every day, like the other satellites synchronize, and all their experience and knowledge goes to records.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me like of Naruto, right? Like when the clones are separated, I don't think they see the same things. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, they don't.
but when you destroy a clone, it goes back to Naruto, and I think he actually learns through the clone's experience. I think it was kind of explained some type of way that. So if let's say one of the clones went out and learned algebra, right? They learned algebra, and then they disappear or they die or whatever. They go back to Naruto and he learns algebra. I think I feel as though it was something like that was stated,
Yeah,
but
it's like that.
I
Yeah,
could,
Yeah, it's like that.
yeah, yeah. So I kind of think when it comes to the Vegapunks, when they synchronize, just everything they experience throughout that day or the day before, all the other Vegapunks eventually learn about it. But I don't think it's like Pain, how Pain can, it's like watching through a security system from different angles and stuff. I don't think it's like.
I know, but that is even crazier though.
Then says, I think Vegapunk will die and Punk Records will be burned down. Sad time. God damn. Then Hyde over here being like Robin,
That's gonna
being
be
super
that's gonna be
well,
one disgusting
pessimistic.
smell. Can
What?
you imagine being in the sea and smelling that? Oh my god.
well, that like if that did happen, it would mirror the burning of the Library of Alexandria.
Isn't that what
If y'all know,
isn't that kind of what O'Hara could have been like? The burning of Alec.
yeah, it's like that too.
Yeah.
But like all their knowledge got saved.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not familiar with the burning of Alexandria. Is that like in France or something?
I think it was like Egypt, around Egypt.
Egypt. Okay. All right. So Vegapunk also talked about like how I guess the signals get sent to him, but like y'all think there's a range to like a limit of range of how far he can be away from Punk Records before like he stopped receiving the signal? Cause I keep thinking about it, right? Like if he went to Wano, like I don't think he could take Punk Records with him. I think Punk Records might be. I don't know. I mean, if it's just like a jar with a brain in it, it'd be one thing. But like like I'm curious of how far he could be from Punk Records. Because if he went to Wano to go work for Orochi, he would have been far as hell from Punk Records, so he wouldn't have been getting those brain signals. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, what Dindin Mushis don't really have a range on them, do they?
I think some of them do. It
Well,
just
yeah, like the mini ones,
yeah, like
but
many
like the
ones.
regular, but like the regular Dindin Mushis,
Yeah,
because
but
like even after like finding out of how Vegapunk worked, like I kind of see it as similar of how like the Dindin Mushis work.
yeah,
Possibly. But
And if he's talking about connecting all the people in the world, then there wouldn't really be a range issue.
yeah, I
yeah,
get what you're saying. Yeah.
but,
I wonder if he's gonna leave with his brain.
but like how I see it though, he can't connect everybody in the world because the technology is too limited to do something like that, which means that it has limitations. And if that's the case, maybe it has limit in range of you know, how far he can, because even internet, right? The internet, you need a modem, you need the Wi-Fi, the wireless Wi-Fi thing that sends a signal, So I would
Yeah, and
think,
there's also things that you can use to boost the signal to increase its range.
yeah, and I'm saying like if there's a way from to boost it, or like like he had like satellites that led all the way up to like if they were around the world, I could see it having less like the range being less of a problem, but like I would think there's a limit to how far the signal goes from Punk Records to Vegapunk in his brain. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would think. That's what I believe. You know, like he would have to figure out ways to extend the network, or so. Like it's a local network that can only go but so far, but he would have to find ways to extend that network, which is I think part of the reason why he wouldn't have been able to uh share it with everybody else. Now, on this power source that they were talking about, maybe that fixes those problems as well. You know. Den says whatever Roger laughed at could be broadcasted over Punk's records internet. P Hub for everyone. Parvez said my newest vid answers the network extension problem. All right, it sounds like I'm gonna have to check that out. I might have to check it out next week when I get back though, but I'll definitely check it out. He said, "My sorry, been in and out. It is all good, Par. It is all good." But yeah, so I mean, I would think there's a limit in the network. You know, like that's all I'm saying. But maybe not though. Maybe not. Maybe it. You know, if he went to Wano, it wouldn't have been a problem. You know. But all right, so Momonosuke's devil fruit, artificial devil fruit. Like, so Luffy or Vegapunk asked Luffy, like, "Hey, did you see another dragon in Wano when you was in Wano?" And Luffy was like, "Yeah, Momonosuke, pretty much." And Dragon asked him, like, "Hey, so what color was it?" And Luffy said pink. And so we learned that the devil fruit was deemed a failure because of the color. Now, do you think the color is pertinent, or you think is Vegapunk being a perfectionist? Like, do you think maybe there's something to the color, like some importance to the color, you know, or do you think that is just Vegapunk being a perfectionist?
It's just him being a perfectionist.
Yeah, I think he was being a perfectionist, but I don't know, man, because we talk the importance a lot about like color, right? Like we talk about a lot of the importance of color when we look at hockey. There's a color of hockey and everything. You go back to what was the one character's name? Golden Week.
Yep.
I'm mad you. I ain't even giving any defining characteristics, and you already knew who I was talking about. You already knew who I was talking about.
The only other color person.
So, yeah, Miss Golden Week, you know, like she deals with colors and the colors have effects. So there's something in my head the back of my head that believes that it's more than Vegapunk being superficial and being a perfectionist, and maybe there is actually something to the color. I just don't know what. Like I don't know how it would be relevant. But to me, it just if you just take it for face value, it's you could just assume it's Vegapunk being a perfectionist, right? Which is probably the case. But I don't know. I don't know if it's that simple. I think maybe there is something about the color. I just don't know what I would say it is. So yeah, when it comes to Momonosuke, I think for now I'm gonna say it's Vegapunk being a perfectionist, but I think there's potentially more to it. You know, maybe the color is actually meaningful to like the devil fruit. So, but you know, I don't know. I don't know. But okay, so let's talk about the Iron Giant, right? Let's talk about the Iron Giant that was created 900 years ago. It it attacked Mary Joa. It climbed the red line and attacked Mary Joa 200 years ago. And an interesting fact was that was around the same time. If you guys go to 620, I didn't know if you guys checked out chapter 620. Around the same time, or that was the same time period where the fishermen were trying to get their rights. I assume, or it was it was the same time when fishermen were trying to become part of Reverie and everything. So
No, they did get a part. They got a seat that time.
yeah, that's what I mean. It was the same time they was moving forward with the fisherman rights and everything. So yeah, where do you think? So what's up with that Iron Giant though? Anybody got any speculation on the Iron Giant? Does it connected with Fishman? Do y'all believe? Do y'all believe it's connected with the Fishman? Joy Boy.
Could be. I'm not entirely sure because I just
You
don't
think the
know how.
timing? You think the timing is just
I want
coincidence
to say,
maybe?
yeah, like I want to say it's kind of like a red herring because also I don't think that the iron would survive in seawater for 700 years.
That you don't think the Iron Giant would?
No, just because of how like metal like interacts with seawater.
Yeah, and it's actually much more than 700 years from the last chapter, it seems. But yeah,
Well, I was just saying 700
I
years
know, I
because
know, I know. I'm just saying, I'm
when it
agreeing with
went to yeah.
you.
Yeah. Angel or Den says fishermen are always late. Always late to the party. Uh I mean, look, I don't believe that the Iron Giant is like I don't think the fisherman sent the Iron Giant or anything. I'm I'm just thinking I mean like I don't know who activated the Iron Giant, right? Like what was the catalyst of activating the Iron Giant and why did it go to Mary Joa around the same time the fishermen were getting, you know, were trying to move forward in getting their rights, right? So I think there is some connection. I don't think it's like like the giant was in the. I don't believe it was at Fishman Island, and that's why. Like I don't know, man, but I think there's a connection. I just don't know how to connect it. I just don't have. I would need like the evidence, like what else happened around that time. You know, like what was going on 200 years ago, like during the whole Fishman civil rights movement, and that was related with this giant. You know what I mean? Like did the giant like sense what was going on or something? Like where was the giant? Was because you said the giant wasn't in Fishman Island because it wouldn't have been able to be in water for 700 years, but like weird. Like, was it on Egghead Island or like I don't know. Was it in Mary Jo already? Like, no, it said it climbed it. It said the big robot climbed the red line, so it had to start somewhere, right? It had to start
Well,
somewhere.
it says most likely yes.
Oh, it most likely climbed it. So, because I'm
Hmm.
thinking maybe it was already at Mary Joa, you know.
Or somewhere else on top of the red line.
That's true. That's true. But something had to activate that giant. If it was inactive for 700 years, and then it activated around the same time that the fishermen were getting rights, something had to be going on that
I
that
mean,
activated that thing.
I mean, we know that. What's his name? the vendor Decken, wasn't he supposed to be alive 100 years ago or somewhere around that time, hundreds of years ago, sometime?
The first Vanderdecken?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know when exactly he was alive. Vanderdecken. I'm gonna have to see when he was alive. When was do you guys know when Nolan like was exploring? Like how long ago?
400.
400 years?
Yeah, it says, yeah, on the wiki, it says he existed hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, I don't think Vanderdecken has a time period of when he was active. At least I don't see it.
Now, I know they don't give us an exact time. It just says hundreds of years ago. It seems.
Yeah, I don't know when Vanderdecken was doing his thing. Then says, to be fair, Fishman Island is under Mary Joa. Yeah, that's true. So are you
But then,
are you saying are you trying to say that the the big mech could have been at Fishman Island and then because again, like I know Joy Boy said it couldn't like if it would have been in the water for 700 years it would have probably rusted. But if it was at Fishman Island, like if it was actually in that bubble, you know what I mean, it would have been away from the water. So
um,
and it does kind
you
of
know
make
what?
sense to be able to climb that red line from Fishman Island. Like, you know, you starting if it was like hiding at Fishman Island and then it activated somehow and then climbs the red line.
Mm,
But what you say, Angel?
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, I don't know if I don't know if that the two things are connected because, I mean, I don't think they're like, I don't think that one of those things caused the other right now, because like if the robot thing caused the whole Fishman thing, I'm curious, like if they believe like the Fishman had something to do with this, why would they do a peace? Why would they make a peace treaty with them?
I
But
don't
then if
think
the
they.
Fishmen, but then if
Oh,
the Fishmen, huh?
I was going to say, I think the robot, whatever the robot did, was because of the fishmen. I don't think it was the fishmen doing what they did because the robot. I think it might have been vice versa. And
So you think that the Fishmen joining the world government caused the robot to activate?
I don't know if that's what caused it. I'm just saying I think there is a connection. I think something.
Yeah, I know. I'm just asking.
I
I didn't mean to sound
I think something.
judgmental.
I think something that was going on during that time that might have been connected with the fishmen trying to get their rights. I think that might be what activated the. I'm not saying like. I'm not saying that the fishmen trying to get their rights activated the big robot. I'm saying something was going on that was connected to the fishmen trying to get their rights that might have been the catalyst for the robot. I just don't know
Hmm.
what. I don't know how to, I don't know what to play. I feel as though we're lacking a lot of information to really.
Uh,
I
you
can't
know, you know,
speculate.
you know something weird. With you with this made me realize is like, so we know 200 years ago the fishermen and the world government became allies. So I'm curious, why do I'm never mind. This is gonna go cause a whole different discussion.
I wish you would finish your thought, man.
Okay, I was gonna say, if they became allies, why do they need permission to go up into the sea?
Why does the fisherman need permission?
Yeah, why do they need permission to go up to the sea when they are go up to land when they are already allies?
Be part of the treaty.
Why can't they just go to an island that doesn't like they can just attack an island where the world government doesn't control
Well, I
and
don't
make
think
that their island?
they're not necessarily allies. I think they're just part of.
No, they became allies 200 years ago.
I'm saying I don't see them as allies because when I see allies, I think of equals. You know, two
Well,
entities
yeah,
that
they're
are
not.
looked at equally. Like I think
Yeah, they're not
I'm
allies.
saying the
You're right.
fishermen
They're not allies.
they're just
They
part
joined the
of the
world
they
government. That's what
joined.
you have to say.
They're not
Well, they just
allies
joined
though.
it.
So so
Yeah, that is true.
they're still subjected to doing pretty much having to obey what the world government wants at the end of the day.
Yeah, that is
Like they
true.
can't just
That is
like
And I
if
mean, they still had fishermen slaves too.
yeah. They're it's kind of like when like after slavery, after black people got their freedom, it's like yes, technically they got their freedom, but they weren't treated great. You know what I'm saying? They were
Well,
technically
also wasn't
supposed to be treated
was
equal to the white people, but they weren't.
also wasn't there like a thing with the Emancipation Proclamation that it only freed slaves in the North? Like it didn't free all slaves.
Yeah, that was before the war ended. That they did that for the North,
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then
so
The
when
it'd
the
be
war
kind of
ended,
similar to that.
yeah,
and then when the war ended, it happened with the South, I guess.
yeah. What Angel said. And that's kind of how I look with the whole fisherman thing. Like the world government allowed the fishermen to be a part of the world government, but I don't think it was like we're giving y'all every rights that we give every other human. Like I don't think it was like
Yeah,
that type situation.
they're still in like the Jim Crow times,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah, and that's kind of my point of bringing up the whole slavery thing. Is like they technically were free and looked at as equal, or they were supposed to, but they weren't. You know what I mean? Like, they were still, like, black people were still treated, especially during the whole Jim Crow thing, still treated less than. So, and
Yeah,
that's kind of what the fishermen are going through. It's like during the Jim Crow thing, you know, to
and
where
then
they,
and then and then Goldie Roger came and made it worse.
mm,
When I'm thinking
I
about it,
mean, technically, yeah, because after Goldie Roger like announced the One Piece like flood of pirates started going through Fishman Island.
then says, does iron rust in seawater?
Pretty sure it does.
I think it does, especially if it's in there long enough. If it's in the water long enough. Yeah, it should. Yeah, because iron does rust. Iron rust. So, I don't think it matters what kind of water. It'll still rust.
It actually makes it rust quicker.
The salt.
Yep.
Didn't know that. I didn't know that. So, all right.
Iron is relatively unaffected by pure water.
uh-huh.
No,
And then I also want to say another thing
what's that?
is the height of that. I mean, it's still not tall enough to just stand in the water and be on top of Marijoa. If this machine is supposed to be the same size as Orse and Thriller Bark, it would be like 270 feet or something like that.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking? Now, because we're talking about this Iron Giant, right?
Yeah.
Now that I'm kind of think about it, now that I'm thinking about it, and I'm kind of going to segue to the end of the chapter, so I'm gonna skip a lot of topics right now, but
Mhm.
I think our answer for like the Iron Giant could be probably connected to what else happened in this chapter, right? We see Kuma. Kuma was acting out for something, right? Like
Mhm.
Kuma, Cyborg Kuma he was going towards something, right? And it almost mirrors the giant going towards something that we don't know of. You know what I mean? So I guess
Yeah,
what
it
I'm
looked like.
I guess what I'm saying is could his giant kind of be like Kuma possibly, where it's like it was it was going towards something. It wasn't necessarily trying to attack Mary Joa, but it was going towards something. You know, like you guys know what I'm saying. Like you know how.
Well, I definitely think the giant was going there to attack Marie-Joie, since it does like have a weapon,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I think like it it would probably be like continuing its orders from the
Mm-hmm.
Void Century, like the Great War. But also, like my thing with it too is like going kind of back to the connection with the Fishman stuff. Is its power source like because it ran out or like right when it got to Major. So like the however it was um activated, I definitely think it was on purpose, like waiting for a specific time
Mm,
because it would only be able to like act one more time.
yeah. So it was waiting. It was in wait.
Hmm.
Then it says it's a massive giant robot for sure. The giant was coming for the hat. He was trying to retrieve the hat back. Yeah, I mean maybe, but okay. So you think it was just kind of acting on pre-programmed orders, but like what something still had to activate it though. You know, like
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
something had to, because it was around like up to that point it was dormant for like 700 years, you know, but it's like something had to happen in this time period for it to become active, you know what I'm saying, for it to come active and go attack Mary Jo and then like pretty much die before it can continue its work. And the only reason why I keep bringing up the Fishman thing, because it's like the only relevant thing that was really going on at the time that we know of, at least. You know what I'm saying? Now, it could have been something else relevant going on at that time as well. You know, that went with the time and the fish thing. Like maybe something happened that was the catalyst for the fishermen trying to get their freedom, and it was also the catalyst for the big robot to come alive. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of where I'm going with it, and I feel as though what happened with Kuma at the end of this arc could could be connected. It could be connected because
Mm-hmm.
Kuma was acting a little similar to the robot. I mean, he wasn't attacking anything, but he just kind of start acting on his own, doing something, and you know, everybody's like, "Hey, what's up, Kuma?" But so yeah, that's kind of what I was. I mean,
Oh,
since we talking about Kuma,
Also,
go ahead.
oh, sorry, I wanted to add something to Kuma. Another thing I want to say, I want, I'm very curious if this is like Kuma's actual cyber. I mean, what's it called? What do they call it? Cyborg body? Because when we see this Kuma fall down and then cracks appear on its face and no blood comes out. It's very weird to me because when we come back from the 2 year time skip and Frankie runs in to to Kuma, we see that he can clearly bleed from his face. So I'm curious on whether or not this could actually be Kuma.
Uh, I think it's Kuma. I think it's Kuma, but yeah, I think it's Kuma. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I believe it's Kuma. Um, and like, why is Kuma? Why is he acting? I think because it's like once we see CP0 arrive at Egghead Island with the Kuma Seraphim, that's when Kuma started acting this way. You know,
Mhm.
is this something with his connection to the Seraphim and maybe like Egghead Island, like maybe Punk Records? You know, maybe Punk Records is sending out the Seraphim's brainwaves or something to Kuma, and it's like, you
Mhm.
know,
Another.
agitating
Oh, sorry.
them or something.
Yeah. Another thing I also want to mention about how I think this possibly might not be him is because of his eyes in Marajua. His eyes are light blue, and when Oda draws him as a kid, he has black, dark brown eyes, I guess. And there's it's like a robotic eye.
I don't know. You had to show me what you're talking about in the Discord or something. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, in the anime, his eyes are blue in Marajua.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that, but I don't know. I
I'm
think.
telling you, I'm getting the feeling that this might not be him.
All right. Okay. I believe you. All right. So the power source. The power source. Yo. So I kind of had a, because Vegapunk talks about a power source. Like if he has this power source, that's kind of what activates the that big robot. And he also talks about if he had it, he'd be able to use Punk Records and like he'd be able to share it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole world could use Punk Records, kind of like the internet. But I
I think.
guess I guess what he needs is the source. There's this thing called the source. Now I now look, I came up with a few theories about what I think the source is. You know what I'm saying? I think it's one of these three theories. Now it might sound a bit of a stretch, okay? It might sound a bit of a stretch, but y'all gonna have to work with me, all right? My first theory is the source, because when I think of the source, I think of when they say about the sun, right? Where Vegapunk said if he had an eternal flame, he could create a sun. You know, so my idea is what the source is kind of like that sun he was talking about. You know, like he was just saying if he could get an eternal flame, he could recreate the source. And I'm thinking that maybe the source could be that weapon that the world government used. Like maybe Eam has the source. And that weapon that we kind of theorized to be Uranus could be the source instead. Now that's just one of my theories. My second theory is that it is, which I think my second theory could probably go along with that theory as well. But my second theory is that it is the national treasure of Marijoa. You know what I'm saying? Which it could still be that weapon that Eam used. You know, you could use the national treasure to as a weapon, right? Now my other theory. Now this one might be a bit of a stretch, but you're gonna have to work with me. This one might be a bit of a stretch. My other theory is that the source is the One Piece, or the One Piece is the source, and because the way Vegapunk kind of framed the source, it seems kind of like an end all be all type of thing, right? It's like if you got this thing, bro, you could improve the world in so many aspects, right? Like maybe you need the source to fully utilize the ancient weapons. Maybe you need the source, like, and the more I think about it, like this could achieve Vegapunk's ultimate dream in doing like Vegapunk or Punk Records, like being able to use that all around the world, connecting the world, turning the world one into one piece through Punk Records by means of the source. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. You know, like I don't really have a lot of evidence to back that up, but I'm thinking the source could be, or the One Piece could be whatever the source is. You know what I mean? And with the source, it helps. It helps with doing all the other stuff you need to do in order to unite, in order to unite the world. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'll let you guys go. What are your ideas of the source?
You forgot the most obvious one.
What?
Cola.
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 You talking about Frankie? But
I mean,
Cola's too limiting though, man.
Yeah, no, I was just joking.
Cola is too limiting because it's like it runs out and then Frankie's screwed. You know, but that's funny though.
But like my most solid thought is like some kind of nuclear energy, and like that would also explain how the robot like ran out of energy because there's this thing called a half-life, and it's like what am I
It's like when the
like
atom
yeah, like it's the decaying of a material, and
of
like
a
a
like an
half-life
atom or a
is
molecule or some shit.
yeah, it's like you're like everything has a half-life, like any material or element, but it's
Yeah,
half-life is like how many years it takes for half of that mass of whatever it is to completely decay.
yeah, yeah.
And like it also ties back in with like the sun.
So, do you think there's any bigger importance for this source? So, kind of like how I feel it could be like the national treasure or possibly the One Piece.
I think it could be tied to the One Piece
Mm.
for sure. Like
I
the
think,
knowledge of the source could be there.
yeah, I definitely think it could possibly be the One Piece because I kind of got this idea that the source could have been like the trigger for the war between the ancient kingdom and the 20 kingdoms, right? So I'm thinking maybe that the 20 kingdoms wanted that or something, or maybe it was like going to give people too much freedom that 20 kingdoms didn't want, and so they went to war against the ancient kingdom for that, and and maybe the ancient kingdom hit it and it became the One Piece, or maybe the 20 kingdoms got it and it's now the national treasure, where possibly that weapon that Eam used, possibly, if that's not Uranus, you know what I'm saying? But that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like once you get that source, I think you know, it could probably solve a lot of problems in the world. A lot of problems. You know,
oh,
the
one thing. Oh, sorry.
and the fact that this coming from Vegapunk of all people, like one of the guys who, you know, I think Vegapunk giving us some end game stuff right now, personally. But go ahead, Angel.
I mean, one thing I will say from these past few chapters, just talking about this robot, it has made me curious on when exactly this battle of the ancient kingdom and the 20 kingdoms started.
Yeah,
Like, did it start before the Void Century, or did it start during the Void Century, or did it start at the beginning of it?
might have been the beginning. Probably, I don't
Yeah,
know. I couldn't say. But and you
I
know
know, but
something?
especially the robot. The robot is the reason why I thought maybe it started
Yeah,
before, because they said it was built over 900 years ago.
yeah. And kind of like what you said, Joy Boy, right? Like maybe the robot needed more of the source, right? Like maybe it's the source that empowers these big mechs, right? maybe there are more of them, right? Maybe when we get the Laugh Tale, there's an army of these mechs, and if the One Piece is the source, if the source is the One Piece, maybe that's how you get that, you activate these big mechs, and then they go to war with the world government for you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe we get to Laugh Tale and get the One Piece before this war, and we need the source in order to win it, in order to go against Im Sama, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, so do any of y'all have? But kind of moving on, do you guys have any idea of what Vegapunk wants to give Bonnie?
Mm, no, a brain.
A brain? What you mean a brain?
Kuma's
Expand.
brain.
So you think he's gonna give Kuma's brain back to Bonnie to give to Kuma? I was kind of
Very
thinking.
possibly.
I was kind of thinking though. I was kind of thinking maybe maybe he does give her something that brings Kuma back. What about you, Joy Boy?
Yeah, I definitely think it's something Kuma related.
Something Kuma related? Yeah, I definitely agree. It's tough to speculate, but I definitely I maybe it's like some type of code, right? Like some type of code that recovers all of the data Kuma lost. Like maybe the data's not fully lost. It's like stored somewhere, and with that code, you could pretty much bring Kuma's memory, his memories back, even though he'll still be a cyborg. Because I don't think you could fully reverse Kuma being a cyborg. I don't think that's like fully reversible. So the best you could do is give him his memories in like data form. You know.
Yeah. Wow, you know, that is pretty interesting. Its objective remains unknown. I didn't even.
Or are you talking about something else, or are you talking about something I said? Cause you be in your own world.
Let's just go with what you said.
All
He's
right.
back to looking at the Iron Giant panels.
Yeah, I'm back to looking at the giant panels.
All right. So is Vegapunk? So moving on, cause I don't think I don't think we really got anything about what Vegapunk could be giving Bonnie. But Vegapunk leaving with the Straw Hats. Is Vegapunk about to be Nakama? Is he about to become the next Straw Hat? He has a
No.
dream. Like think about it. You could say his dream is to find the source and create punk records for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So he already got the prerequisites to be the next Straw Hat. You know what I'm saying? He asked them to go with him. So he's gonna be on the ship for a
Mm,
little bit. But nah, but for
yeah,
real,
so, yeah,
Vegapunk
I'm gonna
leaving
say. Oh,
Vegapunk
sorry.
leaving with the Straw Hats. Where does this lead for Vegapunk's future?
For me, for him asking if the stars can help him leave, this told me that I don't think he's gonna be with the Stars for a long time because it seems that he already has a destination in mind of where he would like to go. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what island he could want to go to, but it seems like there is an island that he wants to go to at the moment.
Maybe Elbath. Go be with
Yeah, that is
To the
possible.
revolutionaries.
the Revs. Or I mean, y'all should know by now where I think his ultimate destination is gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should know it's gonna be with the Mads Science Group. I personally I think again, like I've been saying, I think he's gonna roll with the Straw Hats. I think the Straw Hats are gonna run into Germa again,
Hmm.
and he's gonna see this as an opportunity to reconnect with his old Mads allies. Because, again, Vegapunk wants to do science, right? Like, he just wants to be a scientist. What better group to go with, especially since the world government's about to pretty much toss you away? What better group to go with than a group of scientists? Judge. Judge got the resources.
That would be funny to go with Judge.
I think
But then
it's
again,
I think it's
but
the
then you
most
think,
realistic. Where
but
else
then if
does
they
he
go with
go?
Judge, I wonder how long they would it be able to last?
How long they be able to what?
I said I wonder how long they would be able to last.
Who?
Like if they got together or like got
Yeah, I
along or
wonder
not.
like how long would they be able to work together until the Marines arrived? That's what I'm curious.
I mean, I don't think that's even going to be a problem because we're going to end game stuff, so we're getting to a point where the Marines might not be. Uh, at least the Marines as we know it may not be necessarily a thing. You know, like by the time they get together, right? I don't think the Marines are going to be, at least as we know it. I don't think they're going to be much of a threat for them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think that's really a problem. But yeah. So anything else on Vegapunk potentially leaving or leaving with the Straw Hats? Like any predictions on any other predictions that of where he can go? All right,
Mm,
I'm gonna take that as a no. All right, last chapter, Vegapunk is planning to fight against CP0. He's planning on fighting against CP0. He's like, hey, get ready for battle, right? So
yes,
what?
I was gonna say that was something I found pretty weird from Vegapunk Zero One.
But I mean, I don't find it weird because I think he already believes that they're planning to kill him anyway. So it's like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna let y'all.
that's why that's why I found it weird.
That he wants to fight back and not get assassinated.
No,
I
I found it
guess.
weird the fact that he says, oh, he calls Dragon, oh, I'm gonna die today. And Dragon's like, don't joke around. He says, I'm a scientist, I'm smart, and being smart is knowing when I'm gonna die, and I'm going to die today. And then to see him resist I was pretty surprised. I thought he
The
would just let them in.
So on that, like I have the theory about them all like rejoining or whatever. And didn't Vegapunk say something about like if they all got combined, they would have like my personality or whatever?
yeah, yeah, something along that line.
So it could be like in a not in a literal death, but like kind of like a metaphysical.
Mm. Where he lives through them.
Yeah, like if they were to recombine, like Shaka wouldn't technically be anymore,
But
or any of the other satellites.
my question is, if the original Vegapunk dies, would his brain not die with him? Meaning the
I
other
would think so.
satellites would die as well. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that as well. So yeah, we got Vegapunk planning to fight back. He's asking to leave with Straw Hats. I mean, I didn't think Vegapunk would lay down and die. Even though he did say that about Dragon. I think that's more of just like him just believing that you know. Cause did he know the Straw Hats were on the island at that point? Did Shaka know? At that point well yeah, because he did tell Lilith to bring Straw Hats.
Yeah.
But maybe he just believed that he could potentially die because that they were he was of no use to the world government anymore, so that they were most likely going to attempt to kill him. You know, so there was that
Oh yeah,
possibility of him dying.
another thing. I wanna see Vegapunk 01 and Vegapunk 02 I want to see their thought process because they both had different answers to the situation, and I'm curious why.
Oh, also on that, like they only just now found out that Lucci was coming, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
So when he says like states that he's gonna die soon, that he wouldn't even know about Lucci coming,
yeah,
possibly.
Sure.
yeah. I think when he said that, it was just like, you know, like he just believed that the world government was going to try to kill. You know, they were going to try to kill him. You know, I don't think he knew like who was going to try to kill him, or that, you know, CP0 was going to show up at that time. He just probably knew that, you know, that the world government wasn't going to need him anymore. And you know how like a lot of organizations say like, hey, you're no longer needed, so they just get rid of you in a different way. Especially somebody like Vegapunk, who's like, he'd probably be better off dead than leave him alive if you don't need him anymore. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, it's like that
Oh.
guy who when you watch those movies where he builds a nuke and he's like the only one capable of deactivating, so you know the villain kills him. You know what I mean? Something along that line. But that's all I really got for the chapter, yo. That's all I really got on the chapter. Anything stick out to you guys that you guys want to bring up that I probably missed?
I've got two things. What Lucci was saying about Bonnie,
Mm-hmm.
like what were they using her for? My thought would be like trying to age up the other Seraphim, but maybe it wouldn't work because he said, "I believe we were finished with her already."
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, I like with them repairing Kuma. That's making me believe it was definitely more of a voluntary thing to like push the reps further too, with like Kuma pretty much sacrificing himself
Yeah,
because they have like the technology to repair Kuma.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you just didn't remember. And the Stussy girl, I wonder how if the Straw Hats do run into her, I wonder how Sanji or Luffy or any one of the Straw Hats that were on Whole Cake Island, I wonder how they would react to seeing her in a
To
CP0
Stussy,
uniform.
to
Yeah,
Stussy. Did they
yeah,
actually see Stussy though?
yeah. They did see her at Whole Cake Island. Wait, huh? No, I'm
They
saying like if they run into them, I wonder how they would react to seeing her in
I
the
don't know
sea.
if they actually like acknowledge Stussy though. I don't know if they
Who?
actually the Straw Hats. I don't remember them like
Well,
having a moment where they was like where they just looked
oh,
at
of
her and
course not.
said, "Hey, okay."
Of
I
course, yeah,
remember
they
you
didn't
from
have
Whole
an
Cake.
interaction. Yeah, yeah, they did have an interaction. But I'm pretty sure Sanji will probably remember. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends if Sanji actually like met Stussy or like actually acknowledged her existence. You know, like looked at her and said, "Okay, yeah, person, a
That is a
woman."
good point.
You know, because she was there. Yeah, she was there, but did Luffy, Sanji, or any of the other Straw Hats, did they actually like witness her? Is what I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure that everyone that was inside Beige did see her face
But
because
seeing
I'm
her
pretty sure.
face, like,
I know, because I'm pretty sure Beige had an interaction
listen,
with her.
listen. If you're at a party, right, like you will see people, but you probably like if you see them again in life, like if you just kind of glance at somebody and you see them again in life, you probably wouldn't realize that you seen that person before. Is what I'm saying. In the party with like a lot of people that you don't know and you never met before, like you're not going to remember everybody's face, and like you probably even passed some people that you didn't even really like look at. You know what I'm saying? That you didn't even really acknowledge and acknowledge their existence until you're being. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I guess.
You're just looking at it because they was in the same location that they're supposed to know who she was or even have seen her.
No, I'm not thinking about them. No, I'm just saying like I wonder how they would react to like if they recognize.
Yeah. King of One Piece said this chapter is fire. Yeah, it was fire, bro. It definitely was. But Joy Boy, you say you had two things, right?
Oh, sorry if I interrupted.
Yeah, I said both.
You said both.
Yeah, about like Kuma and the Revs with having the technology to be able to repair him, that it being like a voluntary thing.
Did you say that? I don't remember you saying it. I felt like Angel just kind of cut you off and took over that. But
Yeah, but yeah, that and then the Bonnie thing with what Lucci was saying.
oh yeah, you did say. I do remember you saying that part. Yeah, I don't know because I did because it said it looked like we were finished with her, right? I believe we were finished with her. I guess I kind of took it as like maybe they thought they killed her, but they didn't. She keeps escaping. So, cause it said, cause it also says so if we see her, we'll disappear her for good. I kind of took that as like they tried to disappear her already, but they failed. So this time they're going to do it for good. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know. It does. I do kind of get what you're saying when you talk about like that aging the seraphim process. So you know that could definitely have been a situation right there. But all right, y'all. So anything else on the chapter? Any opinions? Any theories?
I'm just wondering how Bonnie's gonna react to Seraphim Kuma.
Yeah, Seraphim. Yeah, I'm interested in that as well. And Den says when they say they're going to disappear, they mean like a magic trick. Except a magic trick where you don't come back from. But yeah, we got the Kuma Seraphim, and then the whole thing with Kuma at the end of the chapter. So I'm like, what is going on there? What is going on there?
I do like how Lucci's pigeon has his own mask too.
Yeah, that was.
So he's an official CP0 member.
He's above Bluno.
He's the real leader of CP0. He's the real leader.
He's the emo CP0.
Spandam was really having his strings pulled by the pigeon. And that makes sense why he sticks with Lucci, because it's like you stick with your strongest, your strongest pawn. The one who could protect you the best.
I'm surprised he's comfortable around that guy. Well, he's not. He didn't seem comfortable, but I'm surprised he's willing to be around him.
Who? Lucci? Lucci being
Spandam.
around. Spandam comfortable around Lucci?
Yeah.
Or the pigeon?
Lucci.
I mean, he's an agent, and them agents they work off of rank, so it's like Lucci is pretty much programmed.
If I was, I know, but if I was in Spandam's situation, I wouldn't be willing to work with Lucci again. I would. What?
What if the Gorosei tells you to work, that you're in charge of these guys, are you gonna say no? You gonna tell them no? Like I'm not comfortable working with Rob Lucci. That's what you're gonna tell the Gorosei. That's what you're gonna tell some guys.
I'd rather work with Lucci than against him, though.
I'm gonna tell them that I rather not work under him.
I think Spandam is over Lucci though.
No, I'm pretty. If I remember their interaction in Dressrosa correctly, it seemed to be implied that Lucci was above him now.
But why would Lucci be working for Spandam, or why would Spandam be working for Lucci?
That's what I'm saying. If I was him, I wouldn't work for him.
Well, I'm saying, why would he? Lucci is the weapon. He's the he's not the leader. He's just the weapon. Spandam is the one. Like Spandam can't be working for the weapon. Then what's Spandam going to fight for Lucci? Then what would Spandam's job be? You know, what would Spandam's job be? You
Hold
know,
on, I gotta let me read a little bit.
well, just save
Oh,
just save that. But anybody got anything else on the chapter?
yeah.
Go on.
Last
Go ahead.
panel. This I don't know who's saying it, if it's Dragon or Ivankov, but this is where our revolution really begins.
Yeah. So it's sounding like they're going to. I think it might be Dragon.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if like they're ready to begin because of what Dragon learned from Kuma.
Yeah, he's above him now.
Who's Lucci's above Spandam?
Yeah, he says, "Yes, sir, boss."
Oh, that's weird. All right. Well, I guess I was wrong. I'll take that L. But you know, I did tell you put off on that, but whatever.
Oh, sorry, I thought you just said save it. I'm sorry, because the video was playing. I'm sorry.
So what was you saying, Joy Boy?
About like if why they're ready to begin the revolution is because of what Dragon learned from Kuma.
Mm. Could be also like the fact that, you know, like what Vegapunk said to Dragon as well. You know, maybe Dragon just feeling like it's that time, especially with everything going on in the world. Yeah, but you're right though. It could maybe what he learned from Kuma is like that the thing
The
that
main
like
catalyst.
that tops it off. Like, okay, I think we got what we need, so let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there could be something to that, you know, but it definitely does sound like Dragon is on the move. We know Blackbeard is on the move. We know the world government been on the move. You know, destroying islands, trying to kill Vegapunk, all that stuff. The Straw Hats, they always on the move. Hey, things is heating up, is getting extra spicy. Extra spicy. But all right, so anything else? Joy Boy,
I think that's it.
Angel. All right, so all right, y'all. So that is the discussion right there. That is definitely the discussion. You guys, let me know your thoughts on the chapter. Let me know your any predictions, any speculations, anything you agree or disagree with. Let me know down in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and you can engage with me in real time as I do these streams. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you want to get at me directly and join the Discord. Come be a part of the community. We talk One Piece, we talk Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood Arc or whatever. Chainsaw Man, all the other anime and manga out there. We talk, or you could start the discussion, one or the other. And if you want to be part of a future discussion stream, make sure you're part of the Discord. And you can also send me content to react to there. I have a channel specifically for submissions. But anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God. I got Angel with me, and I got LaJoy Boy with me. Shout out to them too. Anyway, y'all. Peace.